In a crowded city filled with noise, there lived a young man named Arav. From the outside, he looked fine, but inside his mind, there was never silence. Thoughts rushed like traffic. What if I fail? What if I'm behind? What will people think? What should I do next? Even at night, his body rested, but his mind did not. One day, exhausted from his own thoughts, Arav traveled to the mountain to meet a wise master known for one thing: teaching people how to find peace. When Arav arrived, he didn't bow, he didn't sit. He immediately began talking. "I can't focus. I overthink everything. My mind is too loud. I want peace." The master simply listened. After a while, the master stood up. "Follow me," he said. They walked to a small wooden hut. Inside, there was a low table, 2 cups, and a kettle of tea. The master began pouring tea into Arav's cup and drank. Then, master was pouring tea in his cup again. The cup filled, then reached the top, then overflowed. Tea spilled onto the table, onto the floor. Still, the master continued pouring. "Stop!" Arav shouted. "It's full. Can't you see?" Arav wiped out the table and floor to clean tea split. The master gently placed the kettle down. "Yes," he said, "and so is your mind." Silence filled the room. For the first time, Arav stopped speaking. "You come to me asking for peace," the master continued, "but your mind is already full of fear, full of comparison, full of noise. How can I give you clarity when you leave no space for it?" Arav looked at the table and asked Master, "Then how do I empty it?" The master smiled. "I will give you a simple task." He handed Arav a small wooden bowl. "Go to the river," he said. "Fill this bowl with water, but you must walk back without spilling a single drop." Arav walked to the river, filled the bowl carefully, and began walking back. His eyes stayed fixed on the water. He didn't look at the trees. He didn't notice the wind. He didn't think about yesterday. He didn't fear tomorrow. All of that existed was the bowl and the present step. When he returned, the water remained still. The master asked, "While you walked back, did you think about your failures?" "No." "Did you compare yourself to others?" "No." "Did you worry about the future?" Arav shook his head. "Why not?" the master asked. "Because," Arav replied slowly, "if I did, I would have spilled the water." The master smiled. That is the secret. Peace is not something you add to your life. It is something you protect. When your focus stays in this moment, your mind has no space for unnecessary noise. That evening, Arav sat by the river alone. No dramatic transformation, no glowing light, just breath, water, sky. For the first time in years, his mind felt spacious. Here is the truth. Your mind is like that cup. If you constantly pour worry into it, there is no room for clarity. If you constantly chase distractions, there is no space for peace. Emptying your mind does not mean removing every thought. It means choosing which ones deserve your attention. Days passed, and Arav returned home. He boarded the train, ticket in hand, standing quietly on the platform. The rumble of wheels, the sway of the carriage, none of it pulled his mind away. He simply watched the world pass by the window, one moment at a time. When the train pulled into his home station, he stepped off calmly. At the front of the station, his father waited with the car, engine idling. They drove back together in comfortable silence, the city lights flickering past like gentle reminders of the present. At home, his mother was in the kitchen, the warm smell of spices and rice filling the air. They sat down to dinner as a family. Simple food, shared laughter, no rush. Arav ate slowly, tasting each bite. The next morning, he caught the bus to the office. The crowded seats, the honking traffic, none of it felt heavy anymore. At his desk, he worked as usual, but the weight had lifted. He no longer compared his pace to others. He no longer felt left behind. Tasks came, he met them, one after another. When his salary came, Arav managed it wisely, saving thoughtfully, spending without greed or fear. On weekends, he played video games with his brother, laughing at losses, cheering wins. No old tension, just the moment on the screen. He started running again in the mornings, breath and steps in rhythm. Afterward, he and his brother walked home together. Their mother cooked while their father swept the porch. Arav sat on the sofa, reading peacefully. Later, with his brother and mother, they drank tea as rain tapped the windows. Soft, steady, enough. He lived happily now, not in a dramatic new life, but in this one, with his mother, father, and brother. He cherished the small, ordinary moments. One afternoon, he and his brother went to the market, buying fresh meat, ripe fruit, crisp vegetables, talking easily. Back home, Arav read in his room, page after page, until sleep came gently. In the next room, his brother did the same. Right now, as you are listening to this, notice your breath. Notice your body. Notice this moment, because the present is the only place where peace exists, and if you learn to protect it, your life will change.